Welcome to the final day of adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing with rational numbers. Rational numbers means that you can have decimals and fractions and that they could be positive or negative. So it's just a culmination of everything we've been doing so far this year. Your first test was just adding and subtracting, the second one was multiplying and dividing, and now this one is all three. A couple things that might pop up that I haven't mentioned yet. One of them is dealing with hours and minutes. All right, so I gave you a scenario here where you're starting off at 7 hours and 12 minutes and then you decrease twice. The reason I wrote it like this is because I don't want there to be confusion. I want to stress that when you decrease by 8 minutes the first time, that you're taking 8 minutes off this original number. All right, sometimes students in the past have said 7 hours and 12 minutes decreased by 8 minutes, so they thought that you actually started at 7 hours and 20 minutes. And you decreased by 8 to get to here. You can't really see that, can you? No. So what this equals right here is 7 hours and 4 minutes. Okay, that's the right answer for step one. You decrease by 8 minutes from this number. Once in a while over the years, I've seen people argue that it should be 7 hours and 20 minutes would be the right answer for this because they look at it as you decreased by 8 minutes to get to that point. That's not how it works. Don't look at it like that. Even if the wording is confusing, it's supposed to be this way. All right, and then you get to the next one and decrease again by 16 minutes. So here's an answer that some people want to give. Well, let me just show you the correct answer first. You decrease by 16 minutes from 7 hours and 4 minutes. The answer would be 6 hours and 48 minutes. All right, some of you doing this in your head might have thought the answer was 6 hours and 88 minutes. If you're getting this, it's because you're so used to subtracting from 100. Like there's 100 or 10, units of 10 or units of 100. But remember, in an hour, there's only 60 minutes. There's not 100. So you're only 4 hours above or 4 minutes above the hour. So when you go down 4 minutes, you still have 12 minutes to take off. Let me try and explain that more clearly. You're trying to take 16 minutes off of 7 hours and 4 minutes. So let's make a temperature style timeline. We'll say 7 hours is right here instead of 0. We'll say that's 7 hours. So you're 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes above that. And you have to take off 16 minutes. We're trying to subtract 16 minutes from this time. We'll say 6 hours is way down here. So we're going to be somewhere down in the 6 hour and some minute range because we're going below 7 hours. We're taking 16 minutes off and we only have 4 minutes to go to get down to 7. So you take off the first 4 minus 4, and how many more do we still have to go? 12 more. Because we got to take off 16 total. We've only taken off 4 so far to get us to 7 hours. Now we've got to go another 12 minutes down. And that's our 16 minutes total. So what is 12 minutes below the hour? 48 minutes, not 88. All right, that's where if people miss this, sometimes they want to say that this number should be 88 instead of 48. So don't forget that. You all know that there's 60 minutes in an hour. Just don't forget it. And you'll know that 4 minus 16 is actually 48 and not 88. Okay, so avoid that mistake. And then here's another mistake that happens, and this is more of a reading comprehension mistake, where students think that decrease again by 16 minutes. So say this is a race, and your first time was this, your second time was 8 minutes less, and then you ran it again and you decreased by 16 minutes. Some people want to always go back to that original amount. and say, well, you decreased 16 minutes from the original amount. I think each one of these is coming off that original amount, so they're starting over every time. Don't start over. Don't do, I'll do the number line again, 7 hours. Don't start from 12 minutes every time. Don't go back to the beginning. Don't start from 12 hours and 7 hours and 12 minutes and try and go down 16 from there, because if you do, you're going to end up at 4 below the hour at 56 minutes. So if you say 6 hours and 56 minutes is your answer right here, that's because you started from the beginning again. So don't start from the beginning. Keep decreasing from the time in front of you. You understand what I'm saying there? If you don't understand what I'm saying, then you need to ask me today in the conference before 11:45, because tomorrow you're just going straight to the test. We're not going to meet in the conference, so there's no chance to ask questions tomorrow. So if you have questions on any of this, be sure that you ask me today.